Coming up, details on the UISG budget crisis. And later, calls continue for former National Security Advisor John Bolton to testify in the impeachment trials.
One team is getting their very own facility. More for you in sports.
We definitely have some interesting temperatures coming our way this week. I've got all that you need to know on what you can expect in the upcoming weather.
All that and more coming up on this Wednesday morning edition of DITV News. Don't go anywhere, DITV starts right now. Good morning and thank you for tuning in. I'm Emily Callahan. University of Iowa student government has hit a wall with their budgets. We have Daily Iowan news reporter Eleanor Hildebrandt live in the newsroom with more on the issue. Eleanor, how has the UISG funding mechanism changed this year?
Yeah, so the University of Iowa student government and graduate and professional student governments on campus both receive their funding from the student activity fee, which every student pays of $72. This typically is about $1.9 million, and 1.198 of that is spent on fixed costs. However, Director of Finance Adam Bergduff for UISG decided this year that there would be a cap every funding period of $11,000, meaning that only what is underneath that cap will be able to be funded for student organizations, means that it cuts travel as well as cuts percentage costs for every single organization that wants to get funding from UISG in a certain funding period, depending on how many have applied.
And how is this going to further impact student organizations?
Yeah, so this impacts student organizations by not allowing them to get as much funding directly from UISG. The only other way that they can go to UISG for funding is through the Student Senate, and where they use something called contingency. This fund is leftover money from the previous years and that year, and last year it totaled around $393,000, and this year is only $102,000. This means that organizations don't have the opportunity to travel to different events, as well as they can't put on their own events at the University of Iowa at certain times of the year.
That was Eleanor Hildebrandt live in the newsroom. Thank you, Eleanor. To check out the full story, you can head over to theDailyIowan.com. The New York Times reported Monday that former National Security Advisor John Bolton alleges Trump linked Ukrainian aid to an investigation into the Bidens. Many senators on both sides of the aisle feel Bolton should be called to the stand in light of this new evidence, but Trump's legal team argues Bolton's manuscript detailing his knowledge of the incident should be inadmissible as the claims are unsourced. Some asked why Bolton didn't testify during the House investigation, but Schiff defended himself on grounds of expediency.
And it was very clear that John Bolton would tie us up in court for months or years. And his lawyer made that crystal clear, so there was little to be gained. We had made it clear at that point with respect to other witnesses that we had subpoenaed who were refusing to come in, that we were not going to play this game of rope-a-dope endlessly in the courts.
A vote on whether or not to allow new witnesses, particularly John Bolton, will likely take place on Friday. Now, while things may be heating up in Washington, it seems to stay pretty chilly here in Iowa. Olivia has more in the weather studio.
Thanks, Emily. You better bundle up today, Iowa City, because it's definitely going to be a cold one. This morning, we'll start off our day, excuse me, with a chilly high of 21 degrees and some snow showers. As the day goes on, we can expect temperatures to rise to a high of 28 degrees, leading to an evening with cloudy skies and a high of just 26. Looking into the upcoming week, we can expect to see a little warmth coming our way. On Thursday, we can anticipate a high of 29 with cloudy skies. Friday, we have a high of 33 with a 20% chance of snow, leading up to a cloudy weekend with a high of 34 on Saturday and 39 on Sunday, with a possibility of some sunshine. I think this may be the first time I've ever said this, but I'm glad to see temperatures in the mid to high 30s for once. Back to you, Emily.
Thanks, Olivia. The Caribbean is still feeling the effects of an earthquake with a magnitude of 7.7. The earthquake hit about 80 miles northwest of Jamaica near Cuba and the Cayman Islands. This came after warnings of a tsunami were sent across the Caribbean. The effects could be felt as far away as Miami, Florida. Aftershock struck not long after, reaching a magnitude of 6.5. The earthquake is believed to be a strike slip, which is caused when one tectonic plate slides by another. The reports have still yet to be completed on damage totals and casualties. While 7.7 might be pretty high on the Richter scale, it's nothing like what we've got in Carver when the Hawks are wrestling. Tiana has more in the sports studio.
Thanks, Emily. This weekend, the Iowa wrestling team had a packed house in their win over number 4 Ohio State. DITV sports reporter Tanner Desplank has more on the story.
The Iowa wrestling team has been on a tear all season long as they sit on top of the rankings at number 1. And part of that has to do with the support the wrestlers are getting at home.
It's something different, man. We wrestled 14,000 people here today, and that's insane. And they're all watching you. So they all come for everybody, but when you're out there, you're the one they're watching. So it's something someone's got to experience, and I'm lucky enough to experience it, and it's amazing.
Like DeSanto mentioned, there was a little bit under 14,000 fans there during their match against Ohio State. There was 13,405 to be exact, making them the 13th largest crowd in Carver history. The Hawks appreciate the support at staple meets, but they aren't done just yet.
I mean, every duel is a statement duel for our team. We're just going out there wrestling our hardest and proving that we can be the best in the country. Right now we are. We just got to keep it going. We haven't won nationals yet, have we? So we got to keep going every single week, do our best, improve, and get ready for the big show when it counts in March.
Reporting for Carver Hawkeye Arena, Tanner Desplank, DITV Sports.
But the wrestling team will soon be taking their success to a new state-of-the-art facility. The university is planning to build a 2-story, 37,000 square foot training center for the Hawkeye wrestlers. We have DI sports editor Robert Reed in the newsroom to tell us about it. Robert, what is it going to be included in the facility?
Yeah, so the facility is going to include new workout equipment for the wrestling team, as well as new training areas, some locker rooms, additional office space for coaches, and it's going to be located just south of Carver Hawkeye Arena. That's what the plans say, at least, and it's going to be connected to the arena by tunnel.
And when is the new facility estimated to be complete?
There's no completion date at the moment. It's still in the proposal phase.
Thanks, Robert. The Hawkeyes take on Penn State this Friday at Carver. We're coming to the end of January, and that means many spring sports are going to be up and running before too long. One team has already gotten off to a quick start. The Iowa men's tennis team has started their season 4-1 after defeating both Marquette and Omaha with ease. The team is returning 5 out of the 6 starters, including nationally recognized Kareem Alaf, who is ranked 60th. And the doubles team to watch is made up of Will Davies and Oliver Okonkwo, who are ranked 16th nationally. The men's team travels to Des Moines this Saturday to take on their in-state rival Drake. That's all I have for you today in the sports studio. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for a preview of the men's basketball game against Maryland on Thursday. Emily, back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Tiana. Some moms work, some moms stay home, some moms drive the getaway car for their sons. A Florida mother and her 15-year-old son were arrested yesterday on charges of robbery. Amanda Meter drove her son and 2 other men in a car to rob a convenience store in Winter Springs, a suburb of Orlando, Florida. The mother was described as a willing participant and even served as the lookout for the operation. Only in Florida does a mom support her kid's attempt to rob a store, but not let him drive the car without a license. Now that's all we have for you on this Wednesday morning edition of DITV News. Be sure to head over to thedailyiowan.com for all your latest news between Monday and Friday. If that isn't enough of Daily Iowan for you, be sure to check out the print edition of the news on stands now. For DITV News, I'm Emily Callahan. Have a great day, Iowa City.